we are going to do this quick and sweet. Probably not so sweet, but we we work a lot with people that obviously aren't feeling great. And we work to get them to feel better. And I think one of the things that can be really hard once you start feeling better and having a lot of good days is expecting for every day to be a good day. And one, you are female, most likely if you're working with us. We have hormones and they fluctuate and they affect things when they fluctuate. And I think one thing that I always remember is like, okay, if my period for whatever reason is a little bit worse this month than it was previous months, it's like, did I maybe have a couple more drinks, or was my sleep a little bit more hindered, or did I change up my diet or my exercise? Am I training harder right now? Like, what stressors have I potentially had this month that are different? Did I travel more, right? Because all of those can affect how my cycle is going to feel. And guess what? You also may randomly have a day where you experience bloating out of nowhere. And it doesn't mean that all hell is breaking loose and you need to change everything and you need to email your practitioner and list all of the things that you're feeling. And it's just, I think we get health anxiety is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people start to overanalyze their symptoms versus like, oh, hey, Brussels sprouts sometimes make me a little more bloated than other foods.
Yeah. Exactly. So all right, if you're dealing with water retention, you're waking up puffy, your ankles or your wrists are really swollen, or you can't get your rings off, and maybe you're even dragging throughout the day, no matter how much water you drink, there's actually a good chance that you're not actually hydrating properly.
Exactly, because water alone is not enough. You need electrolytes, you need sodium, potassium, magnesium, because those things actually pull water into your cells. Otherwise, you're basically just flushing it out and wondering why you're still tired, you're still bloated, and you're still sluggish.
But here's the thing, most electrolyte supplements out there aren't helping you in any way, because a lot of them contain things like natural flavors, food dyes, and maltodextrin, which can irritate your gut. And these things can also spike your blood sugar when you're trying to heal.
That's why we both started using Buoy. It's super simple, just trace minerals and electrolytes in liquid form. No flavors, no colors, no sugar, no sweeteners, and you squeeze it into whatever you are drinking. Water, coffee, tea, smoothies, you name it.
And it's clinically backed by science too. So studies have shown that Buoy helps you hydrate better, 64% better in fact, and that's data coming from key blood and urinary markers, not just marketing fluff. And honestly, you can feel the difference. I've had many clients tell me their digestion's improved, they have less headaches, and they're better energy throughout the day.
And Buoy isn't just for people that go to the gym all the time and sweat a bunch. They actually offer a 35% lifetime discount for anyone that's struggling with chronic illnesses. Things like POTS, Hashimoto's, Crohn's disease, chronic migraines, and every autoimmune condition. They're really committed to making better hydration accessible to people who need it most.
I actually throw it in my coffee every morning because it's such an easy upgrade. You don't even taste it, but you're definitely gonna notice if you miss it.
If you're tired of playing hydration roulette and want something that actually supports your body, you've got to try Buoy. It's honestly one of the simplest ways to feel better faster.
Kind of came up because I was talking with Rachel Shear Saturday after our event concluded. We went to grab some food and whatnot, and Roxy really wanted this grass-fed burger and fries and beef tallow, or French fries fried in beef tallow, whatever, right? And so we get there and she called ahead and they're supposed to have gluten-free buns. And then they only had one gluten-free bun and whatever. And so Rachel and I were just talking about how, sometimes individuals who've gone through this healing journey, have PTSD or anxiety that they have something just off plan. There's a cross-contamination or whatever. It's going to set them 10 steps back. And this is not to say that this is your permission slip to just go out and eat and drink and all the things that you want, but it is to say that there is some normalcy to, if you are going out at a restaurant and you're getting things that, are fried in oils that you normally don't use, you're eating some of those rougher vegetables. Like we ordered a couple of the Brussels sprouts, appetizers, and we got some tuna appetizers. There was some fries. I don't remember everything that we had gotten, but she was like, yeah, I'll probably be a little bloated from having Brussels sprouts, tomorrow. Like there's normalcy to that. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to eat these things. I like them. They're delicious. I just know I don't tolerate them in large amounts. And I was like, I think that's a great point to make, because even Roxy, I had said to her, well, what are you going to do? She's like, I'm just going to get it with a gluten bun. Like, I'm going to be okay. I normally don't have all this at home. And I was like, yeah, exactly. For me, I'm at a place where like I can go, I can enjoy. And as long as I am not doing it multiple meals, piling things on top of each other in terms of like, because like we just got appetizers because we
Mhm.
really went where I was there for the espresso martini. But we got some appetizers. Like as long as I wasn't like compiling alcohol with this really heavy fried meal with like ice cream and dessert and like all of those things, like I'm good. Like I can have things, but I'm also in a place in my life where if I want it, I'll have it. If I don't, I don't. Like just in terms of I know that some foods just make me feel more bogged down, not even digestively with like bloating or gas, but like they just make me feel a little more inflamed,
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what sprung this podcast because we know that when you've had a season of your life where you were reacting to a lot of things, when you start to bring some of those foods back in and you're basically introducing them as stressors, right? You want to pay attention to what you feel, but you also don't want to overreact and then say, well, this happened and it was a little bit of bloating, but it wasn't really bad. So, like, I can never have that again. Like, I definitely think there is some normalcy outside of like the hormones too,
Yeah.
as you reintroduce foods, because things like another example here could be fermented foods, right? So, maybe that is kombucha. Don't drink the whole bottle of kombucha that's 20 ounces if you haven't had kombucha or any kind of fermented foods in a while, right? Like give yourself 2 to 3 ounces, maybe 4 ounces, see how you feel. Okay, cool. Because what you're doing is you're also bringing in new foods and new like probiotics, natural probiotics to a microbiome that needs a little bit of time to
Mhm.
adjust. So don't just like slam your microbiome with all of this stuff. Start to slowly reintroduce those things and then just watch and see like, does this get better? Does it subside? Because there's definitely going to be a little bit of an adjustment period too as we bring some of those foods back in.
Yeah, and the other thing I would evaluate is stress. So,
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
just food. Like, Liz and I know I can at least speak for myself. The weekend with the event was extremely stressful for me. I normally sleep 7 hours a
Oh,
night
yeah.
minimum, and I sleep pretty well. Um, I got broken sleep Wednesday night into Thursday because I was nervous. I woke up at, like, 4 AM, which I usually sleep until about 5:15, and then I was tossing and turning. And I can usually handle like one night of sleep deprivation and I'm okay. But then Thursday night into Friday morning, I was anxious sleeping, didn't sleep well. We had to wake up at 5 a.m. for makeup. And then Friday into Saturday, same thing. We had the VIP dinner until like 9 o'clock. It took forever for dinner. It was a good dinner, but like it was too long. And so that turned into less sleep again. And by Saturday morning, at most of like even by the end of day Friday, my stomach was in knots. Like probably too much caffeine. I wasn't eating my normal food. I wasn't eating enough because I was running around stressed. Like I had a couple bites of something here and there. Um, and so I felt very bloated. I felt pain in my stomach and I was constipated. I don't normally get like that. Like I normally have, even when I travel, maybe I'll have a day here or there when I travel where like my travel day, maybe I don't go to the bathroom, but I'm pretty regular. And I felt awful. Like, I woke up Saturday morning and it hurt to stand up straight because my stomach hurt so bad for no other reason than the amount of stress that I was under. And so I think sometimes that too, evaluating like what's going on in your day to day, can be a huge piece too to how you're feeling and energy. Like I hit a wall on Friday because my adrenaline was just pumping for like 24 straight hours, and then I crashed. And so I wasn't like, "What's wrong with me?" Like, "Oh, maybe it's the massive amount of stress that I'm under, and let me just take some extra Prosorb. I'll see if I can get things moving. I'll not, I won't eat anything too crazy. I'll try and get back to regular eating as much as I can. I'll chill my ass out a little bit, and I'll see how I feel." And by the end of the day Sunday, I was pretty much back to normal. I felt better. I was exhausted, but, like,
Yeah.
my stomach had calmed down. And so I think, again, like, don't overreact. Evaluate the situation. Is it some input that is different than normal? I almost always to evaluate, like, am I in the second half of my cycle? Am I close to my period? Because I often get a little moody and watery and think that everything is crashing down and feel like I have to change my whole protocol. So
Mm.
I hit that almost every month, at least once. So it's, again, not every day is perfect, even for people like Liz and I, and people like Rachel Rachel has a banging body and looks phenomenal, but she even had days where she's like, yeah, I'm probably going to be more bloated because I ate these Brussels sprouts. Like,
Yeah.
it's normal to have ups and downs in how you feel
Yeah.
because, again, I think hormones play a huge role, but also like inputs are always changing.
Yeah. So tactable things that I would say, like obviously we're talking about evaluating what is going on. Where are you at in your cycle? Did you sleep well? Have you hydrated? Have you eaten enough? One of the things that Becca said too, she was like, sometimes if I eat in the morning, that will get things moving, right? Your motility moving and stuff. Cause like really, neither one of us did a great job of eating, throughout the event. And that's par for the course when you're hosting an event. I definitely did not drink enough water. And I knew, I mean, I felt fine digestively, in terms of like my bowel movements until Saturday. And then I was like, oh, like I just feel like a little bit, of the bloating. And so a lot of that has to do with, okay, well, we're a little bit dehydrated, then had some drinks, like didn't eat a lot and had too much caffeine, and we've been stressed and we have not slept well. And so if you are somebody who's going through a phase or a season like that, then you got to look at what can I do? What can I control? Because honestly, wallowing and worrying and being like, oh my God, like everything is reverting back and I think I have SIBO again and all of these things, right, is not going to help you. So that's where I would really go and look and say, okay, what do I need to do? For me, I got my red light out. I used that. I did some belly massage. I went immediately and got some electrolytes and just chugged a bottle of water with electrolytes in them. Thinking about giving yourself time and space away from everything. If it's like a very stressful situation, like go sit in the bathroom and chill, do a little bit of belly massage, see if you could kind of stimulate some motility that way, even just like get some gas out. I remember one of our practitioners, I won't say who it was like, I could just fart for like 10 minutes right now. And I was laughing so hard because like also we had been sitting all day, right? So go for a walk, get some movement in that way. Focus on your sleep, getting good restful sleep. I literally slept 15 hours between napping with Ethan and sleeping on Saturday. Saturday night.
It's like, I didn't get a nap in.
Yeah. Thankfully you wanted to sleep. So it's always coming back to like that evaluation and then focusing on the controllables. Sometimes if you are in a really like compromised state gut wise and just nothing is seeming to like do it for you, then I would really encourage a couple of things. One, maybe fast and do some like soothing teas. So this could be like slippery elm, dandelion root. It could be like a stomach ease or something along those lines. You could do bone broth if you don't have any histamine intolerances. Maybe you do really lighten up on the types of food. So don't be doing like raw vegetables and fruit. Maybe give yourself like a smoothie or a soup or some cooked vegetables, something just a little bit easier to digest. And if you've been in a state where you've been really stressed, focus on sitting down. Like definitely violated all good gut microbiome rules during the event. I was like eating as I was walking down the hallway to do this and that and like shoving food in my mouth because I was just like starving, you know what I mean? And so really thinking about too that eating hygiene, getting into that calm state when you are eating. I think those things go far beyond what anybody, including myself, can really comprehend in terms of how your body is going to actually then utilize that food. And that will also improve, any of that bloating or pain, and just doing some deep breath work as well, I think is often overlooked. So control the controllables. Obviously, if these are things that are happening every day, they're getting worse, it's not cyclical, it's not random, then again, you want to get to the root cause. And that's what we do in our practice. So you can always click the link in the show notes. We've got, a strategy call. You can talk to our team. We've got blood work and review as an option, or you can discuss, our healthy gut, happy hormones program and how we can help you get to the root cause.